Hello and welcome back to another episode from the Studio Block server. My name is Weird and Bearded and we are in a pit, which you just saw me digging out. You can probably tell this is where the ocean monument was. It was probably visible in the time-lapse. I don't know, I've not seen the time-lapse footage yet. But we now have a pit. We are almost ready to build a farm. There's a couple things I need to do first. First of all, I need to gather everything for the farm. But also, in digging this out, I used something that we were building recently. I used a toolbox. Yeah, I've got a weird black thing here as well. I don't know what causes that. I think it's something to do with Figura. Don't know why. But yeah, we went through a few shovels and a lot of picks to get all of this dug out. We've got some light blue glass. We get some weird effects with it, but it works. Light blue glass holding back all the water. Looks nice. I am going to go fix up the tools. And probably get things gathered. And then we can discuss what's next. Something to point out, by the way. We have this dug down, which is deep enough that we are at risk of slime spawning. For now, I've got mob spawning turned off, so I could record this bit in peace. But we're going to have to deal with that as well, which is something I hadn't taken into account with my design. So we'll get the main farm built up first, and then we'll deal with slimes. But first, fixing tools. Yeah. The tools have all been fixed up and put away. We have gathered all of the resources that I need. At least all the raw resources. They have not been crafted up yet. That is the next task. And we're going to be doing a crafting time-lapse for it, because I do enjoy a crafting time-lapse. Now, as you can see, we don't have much in the way of small amounts of resources, but then there's a lot of glass, there's a lot of gold, there's a lot of iron. This isn't a particularly complicated farm, but it is a big farm. I mean, it's going to cover the area of an ocean monument, so of course it's going to be big. So these are all the raw resources that I've gathered, and it's time to craft them up. So as I've done before with a crafting time lapse, I've got a screen so you guys can see what I see. I like it to have both views for a crafting time lapse, so you can get the sort of outside view of me running around crafting stuff, but then the first person view is also kind of hypnotic, but perhaps a bit too much for people who can get seizures because it gets quite flashy. So I can then hide that away, make that smaller so it has less of an effect. See, I think this through, and I get to show off a fun special effect. Look at what I can see. You can see it many times. I should probably get on with the crafting. Well, we're back in the pit. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the pit. I've stopped the sun. I have stopped mob spawning again because I'm gonna be building for a while, I think. Initially, when I arrived, unfortunately it's disappeared now, there was half a slime here, which I'm not entirely sure what caused that, but that was weird. But yeah, we've got everything crafted up. Lots and lots of things to place, lots of fence gates. We're actually going to do those first. I normally like to build from the bottom up because it's easier. Sometimes if I feel it will look better for the time lapse, I'll build in other sections. In this case, I'm building an awkward thing in the middle first because otherwise it's going to be difficult to get to. Yeah, lots of glass to be placed. Lots of minecarts. Just lots of stuff in general. As I say, it's mostly a lot of things that we need many of. Then there's sort of one lever, one iron bar, but mostly it's things that we need a lot of. I suppose there's no better time to start than now. Well, I've got a farm now. We should probably test it. And also, talk about what's going on. Because I forgot, this is not a technical farm. I said this is not a particularly technical farm. It is a very technical build. That took many, many hours. But let's turn it on. It's not quite complete yet, so turning it on is actually going to be a benefit to me because I need to collect some resources from the farm to complete it. But if we come down here, we have released some water, so hopefully guardians will start spawning and fall down. So we've got water held back by some trapdoors. The trapdoors all open. And then underneath, we have minecarts going back and forth, pick up all the drops and dropping them off on either side. Also at the very bottom, we still have the slime issue to deal with. We'll get to that. So then when the items are collected, they get put into these bubble streams. Now you may have noticed in the time lapse, you saw me putting a load of kelp into here to turn all the water into bubble columns. You didn't see me do that on the other side. The reason is, it was really boring and I didn't want to. I have done it now, but at the time I just could not be bothered. I wanted to get on with the rest of the build. So then the drops go right to the top and then come along this ice path where they meet in the middle and drop down and then go into the sorting system. The reason I said earlier that the farm wasn't actually complete yet is simply because I didn't have these resources, so I couldn't organise the sorting system. So now that we should have had quite a lot come through, we can turn the farm off. The resources are coming in starting on this side. Are they not going into this one? Maybe they are, maybe they just haven't filtered through yet. There we go. Sneak out. Oh, we also have a little roof here, because then we can not be concerned about phantoms spawning above us. There we got stuff going into the different hoppers, so now I can get all of those out and separate them across all the hoppers. My thinking is we will have 2 sections for prismarine shards, one for prismarine crystals and one for the raw cod, which should give us plenty of stuff. So apart from decorating the bottom so that the slimes can't spawn, the guardian farm is complete. I have an idea for what I want to do at the bottom. I've just got to put it together. I should have time. Hopefully I have time. I've gathered all the carpet that I need. I've got it in these shulker boxes. You can see I've got a lot of colours there. There's going to be a fun design going on. But before I start that, I thought I want to do an hour-long test of the farm, which I was going to show at the end, but then I thought I also want some extra lights so I can take the stuff from here for lighting. So let's show. Look at so many prismarine shards. Thousands of them. I probably should have actually got a proper count before filming this. Almost a full double chest of prismarine crystals. It's going to be roughly the same with raw cod. That is almost exactly the same. That is remarkable. But yeah, done an hour test. If I were to approximate, that's about 3,500. So we're looking at about 6,000 prismarine shards an hour. Nice. I'm going to decorate the floor now. taken me a while to record this bit. I've been trying to figure out exactly what I want to say. At one point I thought of writing a script, but then that felt insincere. I want to talk from the heart. I'm not even sure if this should go at the end of the episode. I might put this clip up as a separate video as well, because it feels too important to just go at the end of an episode. But I still want it there because it shouldn't be seen as a separate issue. A few days ago, the UK took a massive step backwards in trans rights. And I have never been more ashamed to be British. So let's be clear, I stand with the trans community. I stand with every community represented by these flags. And this is hopefully a safe space for you. And if you stand against any of these communities, I don't want you as a fan. Don't watch my videos. You're not welcome here. This is a sad time. And yeah, we need action. But it's also important to remember it's okay to not be okay right now. It's okay to need time to just sit in the moment. It's okay to figure out what your future holds. This is a big and scary moment. And if you think this doesn't affect me, I'm not represented by these flags, this isn't my fight, you're wrong. You're just wrong. I mean, first of all, this is a straight ally flag. If you're still here, presumably, if you're not on the other flags, you're at least an ally. And the allies are an important part of this. They're not just flags. When I look at them, I see the people the flags represent. I see friends. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror if I didn't stand up for my friends. I think that's